Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, lamascreationsdiy. My name is Tammy and on my channel I do clay pot crafts and other fun projects. I would like to thank you for watching and let's start the first project. For the first project you will need 2 picture frames. I picked up these 2 Easter bags from Dollarama. You will need some paint. I am using black, white, brown, and gray. All my paints come from Dollarama. Some paint brushes, a glue gun and some glue sticks, Mod Podge, and scissors. First, I am going to paint the little frame in black. I won't make you watch me paint. We will just speed this up. Don't forget to paint all the edges on the outside and the inside. I am using my little hair dryer to speed up the process of drying. Now I am going to give it 2 coats of white. I wanted to paint it black first so some of the color would show through. Now that the frame is painted and dry, I'm going to distress them both using the brown and the silver gray paint using a dry bristle brush. First, I am using the brown. I lightly dab the brown into the paint and then tap some off. And distressing time I go, making sure again to get the edges of the frames. Brown is done, onto silver gray using the same brush. And when you're done with all the distressing, put them aside to dry. Now onto the bags. You will need the glass parts of the frame so you can use them to trace out your patterns. I want to keep those ears, so I am just going to snip the threads and pull them off. They came off pretty easy. Now to cut the bag. I'm going to cut along the edges and down at the bottom. Same with this little bag. My scissors were not very sharp. You will see at one point I used a utility knife, and that was even worse. I eventually went and found my good Fisker scissors. They were 100% better. Here I am taking the glass part of the frame and placing it nice and centered so I can trace around the face to cut it out properly. Now I am going to use Mod Podge to glue this down. I did a good coat on the glass, and then I did a good coat on top of the bag to seal it in. I've never used Mod Podge before, so this was a trial and ended up being an error. After that, I put it aside to dry and went on to the little bunny bag. For this one, I use hot glue this time to attach it to the glass. For some reason, I thought I was recording me doing this, but I was not. Now I am just trimming up the edges that were too short to wrap around the glass. Now I'm going to put both of the frames back together. You can glue the glass into place if you want. I did not, so this way I can change them up. For the bigger one, I take the ears that I cut off and saved, and I glue them to the back side of the glass, and then I replace the backing on top of it. I hope you enjoyed the first video. The one frame bunny I did with Mod Podge, I did not really like how it turned out. But I wanted to show you that even though it did not turn out, that I will still keep it to remind me what not to do. On to my next project. For this project, you will need 7 clay pots. I am using one that is 4-inch, one that is 3-inch, and 4 that are 1.5 inches. I end up only using 2 of the ones that are 1.5 inches, and I will explain why in the video later on. You will also need a fuzzy sock of your choice, a pom-pom, a big bead, or what I'm using is a drawer knob that I spray painted black. You'll also need a string or a rope, paint of your choice, I use white, glue gun and glue sticks, and some furry stuff to make a beard. I am using a mop head I got from Dollarama. First thing you want to do is paint your pots with the paint you've chosen. I gave them all 2 good coats. You can paint the inside of the smaller pots if you wish, but I kept mine that clay color. Now we are going to take our sock and put it on the bigger clay pot, going from the bigger side of the opening and up. You want to adjust it where you like, leaving a little bit of the pot exposed so you can glue the next pot to it. And then you're going to cut off the bottom of the sock, and we'll be using that later on, and glue those edges to the inside of your pot. I am now feeding that rope that I have up through the hole. I will cut it in half and tie it. I also added some glue for a good hold. Then, with each rope dangling, I put the rope through the smaller clay pots from the bottom of the pot to the inside and secured with glue. I also used a waterproof glue that I have lots in stock to help secure it for even longer. Now that everything is glued, it's time to position the hat to put his nose on. I use my glue gun for this. I also cut a little hole in the sock so that the knob would glue to the actual pot. The knob was a little heavy for the sock to stick to it, and it would pull the sock down, so that's how I had to do this. If you're using a bead or a pom-pom or something a little bit lighter, you probably can glue it straight to the sock, but because my knob was so heavy, I had to cut my little hole. Now for his hat. I used the other part of the sock and I glued it all around the edge, and I also glued the part that rolls up. I am sorry if my fuzzy hairy head gets in the way there. I am now going to place the hat onto the body part of the gnome and figure out where I needed to glue. I used both my waterproof glue and my glue gun. I later on went around the hat and added glue to any part of the areas that I could squeeze underneath the pot and glue it around. For those other 2.5-inch clay pots, they were to be used for his arms. I positioned them on the gnome a couple different ways and didn't like the way it was looking for myself, so I did not use them. But you can go ahead and figure out where his arms would go, and you can glue those directly onto your gnome guy and have some arms. And now we get to make our little gnome's beard. What I did is I took a mop head that I got from the Dollarama and I cut down some strings just long enough so it wouldn't hang too long. Then I used my glue gun and I glued the strings just under his nose and across. I then separated each strand and cut it to length to look like a beard. And there you have it, a clay pot gnome. I really enjoyed making him. I think he is absolutely cute. I really enjoyed making the gnome. He is cute. Thank you again for watching and sticking with me to the end. If you like what you're seeing and if you want to see more, please give me a thumbs up and click that subscription button down below. Don't forget to click on that little bell and select all so that every time I post a video, you will get your notification. Until next time, stay safe. Bye.